Welcome to the Human Nature Channel. I'm your host, Alex Tamsula, and what am I doing here in my apartment? Well, what I'm doing is a special Monday evening edition of the Human Nature Channel. This will be short, no farm garage video. I needed to take care of some life maintenance business, and this will free up some time. But FYI, future topics will include a discussion about world-renowned forensics pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht, who was a recent guest on Crowdsource My Passive-Aggressive Tookus. Since Dr. Wecht lives in Pittsburgh, and since I've walked by the good doctor in Squirrel Hill, I wonder if this is Jason Goodman's way of counter-programming me in the half-assed way only he knows how. Anyway, time is what I need since my next two topics require some more preparation. And not only that, things are moving in an interesting direction for the Las Vegas shooting truth community. There is something I came across recently and I need to sit back and digest it. Yesterday, F.I.B. Chronicles did a blog post titled, "It Was a Political Motive." You should read the post and check out the video. It's a traffic cam video. To quote F, you'll see the two bike officers start racing to the Mandalay Bay at precisely 10 p.m. and about 25 seconds. That must have been when the call went out over the radio that Campos had been shot. Now, that is something that changes the direction of my thinking, and I'll want to fit that in, pun intended. You'll find a link to this post in the notes section below. But what I really want to do is share with you a video I once made. It's the very first video I ever uploaded to YouTube at my movie review channel, Movie That's So Groovy with Alex. I only ever uploaded 70 videos to it and have only 24 subscribers. And Movie That's So Groovy with Alex is a channel I don't upload to anymore for reasons I've talked about earlier. One of the reasons I walked away is the Human Nature Channel has been a more successful channel. But doing those movie review videos was an enjoyable experience. I got a lot of fast hands-on learning, especially with my editing software. So if you'd like to check out these videos, you'll find a link to Movie That's So Groovy with Alex in the notes under the Human Nature Channel's related media. The video in question is a review of the Hammer horror film, The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll with Christopher Lee. The video is kind of crude in a first-timer sort of way. It's pretty obvious I didn't understand anything about lighting yet. But it was uploaded on September 30th, 2017, the day the Route 91 Harvest Festival began. Imagine my surprise when I noticed that. I hate coincidences because I don't believe in them. So yeah, this video is me giving coincidence the bird. I feel so much better now. Anyway, I'll leave you with a what if I plan on playing with in the near future. What if there were two Stephen Paddocks, some guy his size made to look like him? Can we really be sure the guy we have been told is Stephen Paddock in the grainy black and white CCTV footage is really Stephen Paddock? And if such a person really existed, that would be an accomplice, right? Does that plug any holes in the narrative? Well, we'll see. I'll let you dwell on that until next time. Have a good one. Greetings, friends. Welcome to an edition of Movie That's So Groovy. Movies that put a smile on my face. Gems that you may have missed. I'm your host, Alex, and today's feature up for review is The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, starring Paul Massey, Don Davis, Christopher Lee, directed by Terence Fisher in 1960. This lush, enjoyable melodrama, done with the well-produced panache of Hammer films in its heyday, does a clever rethink of the old Robert Louis Stevenson tale about a scientist under the influence. And it could have been called Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Madame Bovary, what with the soapy adultery subplot. A chump Dr. Jekyll, his sexy and bored wife Kitty, and mooch friend Paul moving into the breach, a very amusing Christopher Lee, form an uneasy love triangle until Jekyll takes his homemade SSRI and turns into the lady killer Hyde. Whatever was in that hypodermic needle must have been something else, because not only is Jekyll transformed into a clean-shaven Hyde, he gets a complete wardrobe makeover. Of all the Hammer horror films, this may be the best written, with weird twists like Hyde going to Jekyll's house determined to seduce his own wife. A fascinating study in contrast, and maybe unintentional, but the movie illustrates, in some pretty broad strokes, the differences between alpha and beta males. I mean, will you take a look at this guy? He should have been using that quill pen to tickle his wife's fancy, if you know what I mean. But of course, Jekyll is a stay-at-home obsessive, absorbed in his work to the point where domestic bliss is a shoreline getting farther and farther away. Hyde, on the other hand, is suave, dominant, dangerous. When he's out on the town, any woman who crosses his path learns pretty quick who's the boss. If you're the kind of guy who finds that the women you want to date keep sticking you in the friend zone, well, Mr. Hyde doesn't have that problem. At least not until he turns into a homicidal maniac.
Leave me.
And special mention should go to Jekyll's beard. When he turns into Hyde, he must suck that beard into his face because Hyde, like I said, is clean shaven. When he turns back into Jekyll, he must squirt out the facial hair like so much silly string. Too bad there wasn't the special effects budget to let us see that. Be that as it may, you get Victorian-era houses of ill repute, floor shows with a 2-drink minimum, and Oliver Reed getting hit over the head.
That'll teach you manners.
Ow. I mean, where else are you going to see Christopher Lee zoned in an opium den? Quite the drama of debauchery, print by Technicolor no less. They don't make them like that anymore. So remember, this movie is not for children. Probably explains why this is one Hammer film I have never seen on TV ever. It was rather daring for its day. Oh, those Randy Brits. Save it for date night, when Junior and Sis are sleeping over at Grandma's. If you know what I mean.
Hey, don't get by yourself.
This happens to be a Kubota lawn tractor. I've ridden on it many times. It's got a roll bar behind me, which I caught with a tree branch one time, and it made the front end go up and down. Nifty machine.